Good morning. This is Mornings with Michael, the weekend edition. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. And this show is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only. If you have a personal finance question, please feel free to give me a call or text me at 415-828-7997. First, let me share my screen. I'm going to look at some geopolitical information first, and then we'll take a look at some charts and ETFs. First, here's a chart showing the U.S. Personal Consumption Index, and it's fallen off quite a bit, as you can see, moving into the end of the year, November and December. Let's take a look at the Fed meeting, key takeaways. They increased rates 0.25%, 25 basis points. Says we have to complete the job. Soft landing is possible. That's what the bond market has been kind of predicting. Growth is at a subdued level. The labor market is still strong, and Friday's labor jobs report really proved that. It came in really pretty hot. No rate cuts this year are planned, and there are signs of disinflation. Now, this is a chart looking at after the Fed meeting, what does the stock market do? As you can see, it has been trending downward. Fed meeting downward. So we'll have to take a look at that, see if that continues. Is something to note. And question is, will this be a bull trap? Treasury yields are signaling a recession as rates are popping up. We have an inverted treasury outlook. Peter Schiff is really concerned about the debt, raising the debt ceiling. And the U.S. Treasury Secretary actually admitted the only way to avoid default in the national debt is to raise a debt ceiling so government can borrow from new lenders to repay existing lenders. Peter Schiff says this amounts to the official admission that the U.S. are running the world's largest Ponzi scheme. GD report reveals ominous Great Depression warning sign not seen since 1932. This chart shows the largest, like a $1 trillion loss in consumption income. Iran and Russia integrate banking systems to bypass sanctions. It's a continuing move away from the dollar. If this effort really works, the dollar could fall significantly, and therefore would look to silver and gold, where if the dollar falls, silver and gold rise. And there's a number of banks that have a large hedge against silver. So that could really impact the banking system. Taking a look at the diamonds, what do we see here? We have a bearish signal on Thursday, and then Friday we have another bearish signal, spinning top. Volume was higher, but it closed in the bottom part of its range, so would tend to signal further downside on the Dow Industrial, which has been the weakest index. Now we take a look at the small cap index. got the same spinning top here, drop in volume, and it looks like this commodity channel index is trending lower as it got a slight pullback here. And this is actually the stochastics, I'm sorry. And the commodity channel index is trending lower as well. Take a look at the QQQ. It gapped up on Thursday, and now it looks like it's trying to fill the gap. Will it completely fill the gap? That's the question. Once again, we got the spinning top, which is bearish, and the drop in volume. Are we running out of buyers? That's the question. And we got the drop in the stochastics and a further drop in the CCI. Take a look at the S&P 500. It gapped up on Thursday after reading more about the Fed meeting minutes. And then we got the same spinning top as we have on the other indexes. We have a slight handle on the stochastics and further on the CCI. Now, here's the VIX. The volatility index has remained really low. Looks like handle is going down a little bit, and this one's going up. So there's a little bit of diversion in the two indicators. But at this low level, kind of see this jumping up to 20 as the S&P drops. So that's how we look at that, and that's our charts and geopolitical analysis. Now we'll go take a look at some charts here. First, let's look at the 0T and X. So it's bouncing from the 200-day moving average. It's bumped its head up against a 50-day moving average. We'll just see if that will be a limiting factor and it'll pull back. We'll just have to watch for that on Monday. And then let's take a look at the 20-year. Year seems to be triangling into the 200 and the 50-day moving average are coming together here, and it's kind of butting its head up against those two. So we'll have to watch. It's really been in a tight area, so there's been plenty of support here. We'll just see if the yield will rise in the 20-year as well. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar did bounce up, hit its head on a 50-day moving average after remaining in a pretty tight area here. Just continue to watch that. Gold continued to fall. Gold fell down to its 50-day moving average. So let's take a look at silver. Silver dropped as well, dropped below its 50-day moving average. Let's take a look at a couple of metals in there. ArcelorMittal, it pulled back a little bit. Nucor continues to rise. So look on a daily. See it had some selling pressure once it got up to here. We'll just have to continue to watch that. And Steel Dynamics, the same thing. It had a little better reading. It still made nearly 2% even though it closed in the bottom of its range, which is slightly bearish. I would say that's pretty close to a spinning top. So what kind of looks good? Take a look at P10. So it continues to move away from its 200-day moving average. It's a multi-asset class private market solutions company. They're about 98 EPS rating, 94 composite rating, timeliness is about a C, has a 44% growth rate. Had a recent IPO, so we'll just have to continue to watch this and see what the trend reveals. AI is a software that's been in the news, continues kind of stratospheric move off since it broke out of around the 1411 area. It's been in the news. Wolf Research, Alex Zufkin, he said that Microsoft is betting the farm on AI, on Open AI, which uses chat AI as well. NVIDIA and Samba Nova, a startup, has put a lot of money into research and AI as well. Let's look at some of the companies it could affect. Looks like HubSpot is going to be using that for their CRM package. HubSpot had trended up and has a little bit of a pullback. Paycom is putting a lot of money into research for this as well. And Intuit also is putting money in there, and Intel. So there's also some serious thought if this could come over and take over a lot of Google online search. Right now, the only drawback for the Open AI is anything newer than 2021. It seems to have a little bit of an issue finding information on it. It doesn't refresh as quickly as the internet. Those are some of the drawbacks. But we'll continue to watch this as this really continues to grow. OpenAI looks to raise revenue of $200 million in 2023 and $1 billion in 2024. So let's take a look at a few of our ETF indexes. Energy continues to pull back. The oil and gas explorers pulling back. Metals and mining pull back slightly. Finance, it looks like we got like a 4-week tight there. Software pulled back a little bit there. The industrials pulling back as well. So that's kind of shows why the Dow industrials have pulled back. And then we'll take a look at biotech. Biotech is a pretty long cup base here. So if it's able to take out this level here, I think the trend will continue for a little bit. Take a look at IBB. And then there's also an article in Investors Business Daily about Revance Therapeutics. Really is broken out here. Their Daxify medication, which is competing with Botox, had 37% growth, and they're looking for $34 to $37 million in revenue from this new product. So this is something maybe on a pullback, it might be worth checking into. Let's take a look at they still have negative earnings per share. Their earnings per share rating is 28. Timeliness rating is at an A. Composite rating is 83. Once again, it looks extended. It's above quite a ways above its 50-day moving average. It's above its 10 and 20-day moving averages as well. So we've had some selling the last few days. The good news is that selling is below the 50-day moving average, which is you want to see. So well, I would just continue to watch this, but OpenAI and Revance are a couple issues that I continue to watch. And I think that'll wrap it up for our weekend edition. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. This has been Mornings with Michael. Our contact number is 415-828-7997. And this show is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. So thanks again for joining.